Shalom, ladies and gentlemen. Today, as always, we'll be talking about our weekly Torah portion. Actually, not as always, because there are two Torah portions, Behar and Bechukotai, but it's even more not as always, because we're completing the third book of Torah, book of Vayikra, that happens only 5 times a year. So please come join the synagogue services this Shabbat for inspiration of our achievement and take it to new achievements as well. Before we get to the weekly Torah portion, I want to take you back to some arithmetics. Yes, arithmetics. Back in the book of Shemot, we read about 13 qualities of the kindness, of the forgiveness by Kadosh Baruch Hu. This is kind of life hack that God gives to Moses when he forgives us for the sin of a golden calf, this how you achieve the forgiveness and kindness from Hashem. This is why we read this formula, this phrase numerous times during the Yom Kippur service. It's actually the annual forgiveness for the sin of the golden calf that happened on Yom Kippur. And this phrase goes something like that I'm your God, all loving and forgiving for thousands, but I remember the sins and the transgressions of your fathers to the children and the third and the fourth generations. Now, Rashi, the main Torah commentary of Shlomo Yitzchaki, he right away creates the arithmetical formula. He says that thousands in plural, a minimum plural of thousands, it's 2,000. Now, if the second part talks about generations, then the first talks as well. So we have the proportion of 2,000 generations for love, kindness, and forgiveness, and 4 generations for the punishments. That means the proportions between love and kindness and forgiveness towards punishments in 500 to 1. Now, take the paper, pen, read some Rashi, and you'll calculate it all yourself. But this creates a question about a weekly Torah portion. The second part, the Parshas Bechukotai, begins nicely, beautifully, and shiny with the blessings that if you will follow my laws, everything will be great, and the parnosa and the land and the prosperity, everything will be cool until the first 12 sentence. Then it all switches. 49 sentences of curses, terrible curses, the things that talks about like we were banished from our land will be like a desert, and we will be scattered among other nations, and we will be afraid to show that we're Jewish among the other nations, and we will be afraid for every leaf that will fall from the trees, but nobody will pursue it. Sounds familiar, everything came true. So why? Why do we need such gruesome predictions of the future? Where all loving and forgiving God 500 to 1? Or where was God when all this happened? Familiar with the question. Something sounds the same as our nation's history. But there's a classical explanation to this. God created this world with a pure logic. Everything has a cause and outcome. Everything has a formula. We are not questioning why 2 times 2 will be 4. We can want more, but it's always will be 4. The same thing, we're not questioning something who falls from the roof and breaks his leg. This is a normal outcome of the gravity, and that's why we have the warning signs. So those curses in our Torah, those are not curses or predictions. Those are warnings not to do the way that we are not intended to do. Otherwise, it will be logical outcome of those curses. But I think it's even more than that. Those not the curses. This God begging us to do the right thing. Why? Because when He punishes us for doing wrong, He punishes Himself as well. As the Talmud says, when the temple was destroyed, we were banished from our land, and God went to exile together with us. The Talmud in Masechet Brachot explains that God asked us, why you brought me to the situation where I have to destroy the temple, my home that you built for me. God begs us to do the right thing. He begs us, please don't make me punish you. He begs us to utilize this formula 500 to 1. He just wants to love us and also be loved in return. Thank you very much. Good luck. I see you next week.